Man, this is lifestyles of the poor and unfucking fortunate. But I tell you what, but bitch, we got views. ChadArmesTV, we are back, man, and we've got another dope ass interview. I'm excited to do with somebody from Nashville that's been doing his thing for several years now. He's not only an artist, he's also a producer and an engineer. ChadArmesTV, this is Lil Trip.
What's going on, Brody?
What's up, man? So we locked this in a couple weeks back. I think it was off the strength of you seeing Trap's interview, right?
Yep.
Which he did. He did produce a song on Trap's new album.
Yep, number 4. I Gotta Know.
Yeah. And so that's kind of how we linked. And then when I pulled up here, we just talked off camera, and turns out that he's got ties with Jelly that I didn't even know about. And then he found out that I was the one that shot the freestyle. So it's like,
yeah, that shit crazy.
You know what I'm saying? We both have ties. Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll just get right into it, man. So. Are you born and raised here in Nashville?
Yeah, so I was born in Nashville, like Madison, Tennessee.
Yeah,
and then I was raised in Kentucky for a long little time. Like in my elementary days, I was in like Kentucky, a small town, Paducah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I was raised there for like until like 5th grade, and then I moved back. So I've been back since like middle school, 6th grade.
Okay. You just been doing your thing ever since then here in Nashville?
Yo,
okay.
I had started like making music like off camera, or like not even say off camera, but like my grandma used to have like a little old computer with like a like it had like a little microphone built.
Oh yeah.
So I used to just record. It was like it was called like record memo or something. So every time it hit like 60 seconds to a minute, you got to hurry up and press record again.
That's how I started.
Straight up.
That microphone, and I would just put on an instrumental.
Straight up.
And just record.
And
then when it hit a minute, you
got to hurry up and press that record button again. Keep it going, loop it. Yeah, I've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah, that's how we was doing it, man. What age did you start getting into music?
Like, I said like 6, 7.
Oh, so it was super young.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then probably like maybe like 8 or 9, Lil Bow Wow used to come on 106 in Park. So that's what made me get inspired. I used to see like the girls chasing him doing the videos, performing. I just like that vibe. So like since then, bro, I like, that's what I'm gonna do. I knew that was it, yo.
That's cool. Yeah, so you're younger than us. So you said you're 26, right?
Yeah.
So that would make sense. Like when you're that age, that's when Bow Wow was like on top of the world. He was Mr. 106 in Park.
He was like 13, 14 then.
Yeah.
Yo, he was Mr. 106. See, all that made me want to do that. Like, I used to sit on my granny's front porch, bro, and like, just like vision all this shit that's going on now. Like, I used to fake interviews. Like, I used to sit on, she used to have 2 chairs on her front porch, and I just sit there and like damn near interview myself, like prepare myself for that. I used to walk across the porch. I take like the mic, like I take like a remote control to like living room, go on the porch. Like I never wrote no songs, never had no songs out, but I just go out there and just like say some shit. Like the grass was my fans, you feel me? Like just so when I knew that moment was gonna come, so I'd be prepared for it. Like, but like that's the type of shit I used to do.
So starting out, you was just recording like on the computer and stuff, like you were saying.
Yeah.
When did it get to a point to where you locked in like and recorded your first studio song? You remember roughly when that would have been?
I had a homeboy. Me and him was like both rapping. And we was like down there in a group, kinda. Like, it was not really a group, but we was in a group, kinda.
Yeah.
And his dad had just got home from jail, but his dad had did music back then.
Yeah.
So his dad knew, like, and this is back when I was living in Kentucky, his dad knew a studio we could go to. And I remember he came home and he picked us both up. We was in Kentucky, he came and picked us both up, like, I'm finna take y'all to the studio. And man, bro was damn near ready. So when we got there, it was these older guys. They was like, how old are y'all? I'm like 12, bro, like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, I ain't gonna lie. We'll take the money, but like, if y'all can't rap, we ain't even finna waste y'all time. So they like, freestyle right now. I remember me and bro just went in, like, instantly. Like, they're like, oh yeah, go and plug them in. So I knew then, like, oh yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's cool.
It. Hell yeah. So I was like 12.
So you was 12, dude.
Yeah.
So, golly, that's like mid-2000s right there from when you started doing that. So, once you did that first song, like when you was 12, did you say, like, did you just keep wanting to go back to the studio? Did you keep recording?
Yeah, ever since, like, that first time I stepped in that studio, it was like damn near going into the gym for the first time. Like, like, I never wanted to not leave the studio.
Yeah.
Like, I would go every summer. Even it got to a point where my boy, like, his pops had built a studio in his crib.
Yeah.
But my boy never went to Kentucky for, like, the summer. I would go to Kentucky every summer when I'm moving back to Nashville. Like, when I moved back here, me and bro, because bro lived there too. But his family was from Kentucky, so he would stay here and just bullshit and you know be with the girls and kick it and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I go straight to Kentucky for the summer, lock in with his daddy and just be in the studio.
Yeah,
Even to a point where like they wouldn't in the studio, I'd be up there like locking in, just figuring that shit out.
Once you got a taste of it, like that's when you was like, oh, locking in full.
Yeah,
full
that's what I
stride with
want.
it.
That's what I want.
When did you start to see it? Because off camera, you was telling me some stuff that happened, like it's super interesting about your story. So, like, when did you start seeing things start to ramp up as you were getting older and recording more and stuff like that?
Man, when I actually it was like 7th grade year.
Mm-hmm.
Like meaning you like Facebook was big for us, like so everybody was on Facebook.
Yeah.
So you know like on Facebook you had your first name, your middle name was always unique on Facebook, and then your last name. So mine was like my first name, then Lil Trip.
Yeah.
So everybody at school was like, they were trying to figure out what the hell Lil Trip was, and like, and of course Lil Trip sounded awkward at first. So people was like, what is Lil Trip? Like who is Trip?
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? So I started just posting like videos, like just videos, bro. Like I'll just be vlogging or like I'll just post like music, like acapellas, or like the songs. My boy had a studio at his crib, and I'll post like the song with the music in the background, shit like that.
Yeah.
It was bad quality. It was crazy. The quality was so terrible at first.
Yeah.
Like so terrible, bro. But I think people started seeing how consistent I was, and people started like fucking with it. And when I started seeing everybody switch from like stop saying my first name, and then everybody was like Trip. Yo, Trip, hey, Lil Trip. And the teacher started doing it in middle school, so I was like, oh, shit.
Something's going. What made you come up with that name? Was it just a nickname?
My granddaddy used to always say I was tripping.
Oh, okay.
He used to always tell me I was tripping, bro. And I used to have 1,000 names, but like that was the one that like, oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's cool. So essentially, your granddad gave you the name.
Definitely.
Meaning to.
Yep, definitely.
That's cool. So 7th grade year, you make the videos on Facebook, stuff like that. You're starting to kind of get more and more notoriety, and I guess around the school and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where did it go from that point? How did things ramp up?
With me and my homies, like I said, we was all in a group.
Yeah.
We became a group. So I had one homie, he was like cold with the engineering. He did the artwork, he did everything. And then me and my other boy, we was just cold at rapping. So we ended up being a group, and it turned up like, we was just turned, like we was like the hottest group, you know what I'm saying? In Nashville, like we was just hella consistent, like we was putting out shit, like we was shooting our own shit, you know what I'm saying? We was just building our own fan base, and then
What was the group called?
them Cashville boys.
Okay, yeah.
So facts. So we was on MySpace then, so like
Yeah.
we was heavy MySpace, Facebook shit. And,
People don't understand how popping MySpace
people
was.
don't
though.
understand like making my own skins and like having
Oh,
your
having
song
your own
play
player,
soon.
dude.
Like people don't realize
Yeah,
how
man.
this shit was photogram. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So like we just built that high school buzz. Like we had damn near everybody. Well, I'm skipping. We had that middle school buzz. So like we all transitioned going to high school. So then we were still in a group. We had a song called like I'm Hot, and that shit had just went crazy. It just went crazy.
Yeah.
But then like high school came, everybody started going their separate ways and shit like that. We all was doing us. But I never stopped making music, bro. Like I knew that was all I could do. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't into sports. I think I tried track. You know what I'm saying? But like it was just music, bro. So then my cousin actually was dating this dude, and he had did music back in the day, but he was like looking for artists to manage.
Yeah.
So I guess she had put him on to me, and he said he just like was studying me for like months, like watching how I was moving. So I remember one day she had called me, and ironically, bro, we came to this studio.
Oh, the one we're at? Hell yeah.
Ironically, yup. And I remember I recorded this one song, and I think bro like just fell in love with like how my work ethic was. Like he gave me, it was so crazy. He gave me like an old song that he did, but wanted me to like put it on my time. So like, but I did it so crazy. He was like, nah, dude got it. Like,
Yeah.
like dude got it. It was just something about it. So I ended up being like, take that solo career, bro, and then boom, my high school buzz just went crazy. Like I had dropped a song with Lil Chucky. He was signing Young Money at the time. So it's called Red Light. When I dropped that shit, it went nuts, bro. Cause nobody my age had a single in Nashville like that. And then like Young Money was so popping at that time.
Oh,
Drake and Nicki had just dropped.
Yeah, that was like 2009, 2010.
Lil Twist and Lil Chucky was like young. They was like
How'd you
going
get the
crazy.
Lil Chucky feature? How'd that work?
Man, I was just in tune with the music. Like I always been in tune with like the music, bro. And I always studied the shit, so I was a fan of that. And my manager was like, man, I'm gonna get you a feature. Like, what you want?
Yeah.
Who you want?
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, Chucky, because they had the fans and like Twitter had just started.
Yep.
So I'm watching the verified checks just start popping. I'm seeing like certain accounts go crazy, like they having full interactions every day on Twitter. Like
Yeah.
if you was doing that shit back then, like, oh bro, got it.
That was definitely 09 and 2010 when Twitter was probably up.
So I ended up getting that done. We ended up reaching up to his manager. His manager was like his pop, so we ended up reaching out to him, and he ended up fucking with the record. I had already had the song ready. They ended up fucking with it. Then Chucky had tweeted me like one day when I got out of high school. One day out of high school, bro, he tweeted me. I was like, "Trip about to be it," type shit. And when people saw that shit, it went crazy. What made it different though, it was so different then, like, cause you know social media was new, and a lot of people used to be on like janky shit. People used to, like, it was like a couple people saying like, "Oh, that shit false. That shit ain't really happening." And then when Chucky posted that shit, then like same night, the Young Money had a website, so they had a website and that shit, like posted it, posted me on their website. Everybody was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
From then it was like, it was just dead after that. Like, the whole journey of Lil Trip started.
Yeah. So after the song you had with Lil Chucky, and you probably started gaining like traction, gaining followers, stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
What did that end up turning into after that? Following that up.
I started going on a lot of different like tours. I started going to Atlanta a lot. So Jacquees had just started making his buzz in Atlanta. It was him and another artist named Issa.
Yeah.
And they were like the biggest. It was them two and Jacob Lattimore. Them three was like going crazy in Atlanta. They had this little tour they was doing called Applaud the Kings. And I remember I told my manager, like, I'm gonna reach out and see what they say. And I remember we ended up doing it. And we did the show, and the like response was crazy, and like they seen it, like they seen how I came and handled it, and then they asked me to come back to the second one, and then from there, bro, it was just like I was getting booked every week. You know
that was were you like 18, 19 at this time frame? You just got out of high school?
I was still in high school, so I was like 16, 17.
Oh damn! So you weren't even the song with Chucky. You wasn't even.
Oh no, the song with Chucky, I was a sophomore.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school when that shit dropped. But like the Jacquees shit, I was like end of sophomore year, going to junior year type shit.
Yeah.
So it was like over. That shit went crazy, bro. I was like. It was like everybody was like getting ready for school and shit. I was in the studio. I was having shows late night. I was doing like shows at Limelight for like 15, 16.
That's wild, dude. That's dope though. And then did you say? I think you said something off camera about. Did you end up inking a deal at some point, or was you was going to LA?
Yeah, I had moved to LA. Fresh out of high school.
Okay, so is this jumping forward? Are we gonna miss anything jumping to that from the Jacquees stuff that you want to talk about?
I mean, like, really after that, I was just gaining, like, a lot of traction. Like, I was just doing hella shows and, you know, just how that shit go. And then, but yeah, we can fast forward it. Like, senior year, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. Like, was I going to stay in Nashville and keep doing it here? Like, I was, like, here, but I was doing it so much, I didn't want to burn it out. Yeah. So, like, I felt like I wanted to do something bigger. And at that time, like I said, social media was new. I think Instagram had just started right before I moved to LA. Like, Instagram had just started.
Yeah.
So when I moved to LA, everything was fresh. Everything was fresh. I started, the Instagram was new, so like I was around a lot of like early influencers like Snoop, and Snoop was like heavy on Instagram first.
Yeah.
So I ended up meeting him at like a Grammy party. And like when I met him, he ended up posting me on the gram and shit like that, and like that turned it up. And then like it started making like puzzles piece together. Like people in LA was knowing me from people in Nashville.
Yeah.
So it kind of put a play together. I ended up having a situation with like Republic and Universal.
Okay.
Yo, and then it's crazy. That same year, bro, Thug had just dropped Stoner. I'm a Stoner. And I had this record called Day One. We had put Thug on it, man. We had Thug, bro, like the shit was so crazy. We had Thug on the record. Everything's about to go. And then like something happened between my management at the time and his management, and the shit just went.
Oh, it didn't happen.
So like, yeah, it like fucked everything up.
That would have been huge, dude. Because that song was.
Bro, that's when Thug first dropped. Like,
that's when he was. I mean, he was popping back then, man.
Yo, so with the deal though, I didn't take the deal because I didn't feel like I wanted it at the time. Like they
wasn't offering you enough that you.
They was offering shit, but I felt like it just wasn't adding up right. Like everything was just going the way I wanted it to. So I didn't want to just jump into a situation and then, like, I was still figuring shit out. So I didn't want to just jump into this deal and then be locked in and then, okay, what if 2 months from now I feel like this? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to jump into it. I was smart enough then, like, nah, let me not do that.
Yeah. So then you ended up coming back to Nashville?
Yup, I had left my management at the time and then moved back to Nashville.
And then you just was working, you was just continuing to work, and then like,
Man,
independently?
Yo, what's crazy, I was doing shit here. I had did a song called Everybody. It was like, I had did it based off like everything I was going through. Like fresh from LA, everybody trying to figure out why I moved back. Nobody was understanding it, you know, like the management situations. And then I had dropped a song called Everybody and ended up getting a situation with Atlantic. And it's like a distribution type of shit. And, from there, I had just kept going like independent route. I had ended up finding like, I did like a TV show with Stars, with Queen Latifah. It was called Stars.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing that throughout my little breakthrough. So
I started. What was it, like a reality show? What kind of show?
It's like a TV show. They was like 3 girls. They were like adopted sisters or something like that. But they was getting like, they were working on getting like record deals or something like that.
And you had like a role in the show?
Yeah, it was like I had like one episode, but I was like a college kid or some shit like that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So that was cool though, cause I never went to college. So my first day of college was on the set. With Queen Latifah. So that shit was,
hey man,
shit was super dope.
Yeah, that's dope. So then you just kept on going. The stuff with Atlantic, the distribution, how did that
It was smooth. It was just smooth. It was not too much. It was just for the record. So
that's cool. So 2018, you dropped Fall Season, right?
Yeah.
Was that with any kind? Was that just an independent release, or was
that was an independent release? But that's when I was kind of like back all the way in my bag, like, cause I wasn't dropping for a minute. Like I was going through that little artist depression stage.
No, for sure. When you went, I'm sure. I'm not trying to speak for it, but I'm sure when you went to LA and saw all that stuff and met Snoop, and maybe you were thinking this deal is fixing to really be.
Yeah, like especially being young too. Like all I knew was like this shit. So like when I
finally falling through.
Yeah, when I finally get there, it was like hell yeah. Then for that shit to like go sour, it was kind of like damn. And I was a kid still at heart.
Yeah, you're still trying to learn. You ain't even an adult all the way yet.
I didn't go to no parties. I didn't get to do none of that shit. So I was always working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like fuck. And then I came back and everybody was on their hoe all the time. So it's kind of me trying to like reconnect and like.
Yeah, like you wouldn't been able to. When everybody was partying, you weren't, and then whenever everybody's serious, you're trying to like
have fun.
Yeah, so it's trying to. Yeah, I see what you mean.
So that shit was kind of crazy.
So you dropped that, and when did you? I guess we're kind of around that time frame. You're linking to Jelly. How did you end up linking? Because what ChadArmesTV people may not know is that you toured with Jelly on the Crosses and Crossroads tour, correct?
Yeah, facts.
How did you meet Jelly? How did that come about?
We got like mutual people. Like like one of his best friends, Chisel, was like one of my you know what I'm saying, one of my road. Well, he was my road manager, but he was like one of my friends. Yeah, for sure. Rest in peace, Chisel. And then I had a road manager, Brad. Him and Chisel was like this. So like that kind of put the play together. And what's crazy is B used to tell me, B is Brad. Well, B used to always tell me like, man, you need to go link with Jelly, man. You need to go link with Jelly. You need to go link up with Matt. I'm trying to tell you, Trip, like, just go do it. I'm trying to tell you, like, it's a whole nother world. Just go do it. And, I think we ended up linking, like, through, like, Twitter or some shit like that. Me and Jelly did. He knew who I was. I knew who he was. It was just like, we're going to link one day type shit. And then, fast forward, the tour was coming up, and Chisel kept telling me, like, I swear I'm going to link you with him. I'm going to link you with it. I'm going to get you on it. I'm going to get you on the tour. Because he had knew, like, what I was going through, too. So he was like, I swear I'm going to bring you back. I got you. So Jelly we ended up linking, and Jelly was like, hell yeah, like, no-brainer. Definitely could get on the tour. And we ended up doing that shit. It was crazy. Like,
do you remember roughly how many dates you did?
Not really, but it was a couple. Yeah. It wasn't that many, but it was a couple.
That's dope.
But it was enough to be like, hell yeah.
And that's when Jelly was starting to ramp up.
That's when Jelly was like.
That's when he did Same Asshole.
Jelly was like.
Yeah, dude.
Jelly was like. Boom.
Yeah, man.
Fact.
Because 2018, 2019 is when he started to turn the curve and get into that bag that he's in all the way.
Because he been that, but he was like, for us that knew, we knew, but like people used to like say like this, they'll throw like a rap list together in Nashville. They had like all those rappers on there. And Jelly name always pop up because he had the accolades for it, but like people always would talk shit or like throw them little subliminals like, what does he even do? Is he country? Is he rap? Like, but then that's like. And that's like right when like that moment happened, like y'all gotta shut the fuck up, like bro is whatever the fuck he is, like can't even put no pinpoint on bro, but to be real, like bro was just that.
Yeah, man.
So like I was like a part of that, so like that was kind of cool to see him go like from.
Yeah, and getting to see the way tour life was out there, because that's when he was starting to sell out bigger venues.
Hell yeah.
And like I said,
And to see how he came was like his role was like in and out. Like he
Yeah.
did his shows, but like it was in and out. It was no hanging around. Like that's the type of shit I would try to do.
yeah,
He was like serious. Like it was to get the job done. It was strictly business.
yeah.
So I
For
like
sure.
that shit. That's what like it taught me to like be more, I guess, on top of your business a little more.
But that also too may have been you just again wanting to just hang out and party and chill, because you really hadn't done that.
Yeah,
part already.
exactly.
You were just working while everybody else was doing it, so you were kind of probably, because how old were you back then? I mean, you was 21, 22?
Yeah, I
was
was
3 or
like
4 years ago,
21,
right?
22.
Yeah, so-
I had just turned 21.
Yeah, so like, but that's dope that you got to see that and got to experience that, just to kind of see and appreciate that for what it is. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. And then being a stoner, bro, his fans are crazy. Like, we would go to certain cities. It was so crazy. The cities I was in was all like, all where the stoners was at, bro. They was giving out free weed. We was having free edibles.
Yeah,
That shit was crazy.
it's
like,
crazy,
wax.
man. People do that all the time.
They having wax in the back, waiting on us. Like, that
Yeah.
shit was life. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
that shit was love.
Yeah,
I
man.
definitely appreciate him for that.
Yeah, so you're doing the artist thing and have been doing it for, at this point, 10 years at this point. Because like you said, you started when you was 12,
Yo.
as far as recording. You're doing the few tours with dates with Jelly. You were still putting out albums. When did you start to do the producing and engineering? When did that come into effect?
It was that summer when they before the it was either before the tour. No, it was before the tour. It was like the
Okay.
summer before the tour, and man, I was engineering myself first. So my boy Rico, I used to go to his crib every day, and he had a setup at his house. And this was like when I had took like a little break, and it's so crazy, bro. I had started Lyft driving. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I had done music my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I didn't even know what I wanted to do, but I knew I was not fit for no regular job, like, cause people gonna see it, and like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't want to do that. And then, I don't know, I was just lifting, just to do it. And I remember pulling up on bro every day, and we would record. And it got to a point where bro, like, bro, you are a workaholic, like, I'm going to sleep, so I'm gonna show you how to do this shit. So once I fell in love with like the process of like recording myself, it was like, oh shit.
So up until then, you had never messed with. You was just the artist. You
Just
never-
the artist.
Yeah.
And now I'm like up close, like the mic right here. I'm right here with it. It's like I'm really like getting in tune with it now. So like I fell in love with that. And then fast forward, Rico was going to Matt's house, which is Jelly's manager.
Yeah, still Matt Wallace. Yeah.
Yup.
Yep.
And they was working on the Beautiful Disaster album. And I was watching him chill and Rico, Matt chill and Rico. They was working on the album. And I just seen how the beats was coming like from scratch. Matt was playing like guitars live.
Yeah. Dude.
Rico and Chill was like working on drums and shit. I don't know, like that shit fucked me up. It was like, damn, bro, like to see the record go from literally nothing, like nothing. Like it's cool when you hear the records come out, or even like going in the studio and putting the lyrics down on some
man.
artist shit.
Yeah.
But like to see that shit from nothing,
Gives you a whole new appreciation for it.
whole nother appreciation for it. So like then I kept coming to the studio with Matt and Rico, and I was just watching it like,
Yeah.
I think I could do that shit, cause I knew I had an ear for it too. So I just started fucking with them on that, and then eventually, it really didn't take long. I'd say like 4 months, 5 months in, bro, I had sent a beat out to a Detroit artist. I made a beat, like my first beat. I sent it out to a Detroit artist. I like his name GT. He's with Babyface Ray.
Yeah.
And I was like big on their culture in high school, so they had just started getting some little traction. So I sent it to GT. He had just got a deal with Empire.
Yeah.
Man, I remember I was watching his live one day, bro, and the song was playing on my beat. And I'm telling Rico, like, I called Rico, like, get on live.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got, you know what I'm saying? We got the
Yeah.
placement, like, that shit
Yeah.
up. I remember GT reached out to me. He was like, bro, I'm finna drop the video to this shit. And I'm finna sign a deal. I'm finna drop this shit. Boom, he ended up dropping the video, did like 100,000 in like 2 weeks.
Oh, and you got the placement for it. Hell yeah, dude.
Then he ended up getting the Empire deal, and they dropped the album. So, like, since then, bro, it just went up with that shit. Like, I knew then, like, oh, yeah, it's up. Like,
That was your first placement as a producer.
yo,
That's dope.
4
dude.
months, and I knew. And
Yeah.
I say my first beat, cause I was fucking with the FL, but I was on and off. Like I touched that shit. I couldn't really do, like, I couldn't get no vibe for it, so I'd touch it
Yeah.
and throw the laptop away
Yeah.
and get back on some rap shit. But then when I did that beat that day, man, Rick did that shit, it was like, oh yeah.
That's dope, dude.
I wasn't stopping after that.
Yeah, so now you're kind of just balance. You're doing both. We're doing all three now, right? Like
Yo, and I engineer full time too, so like that's really crazy now too.
yeah. So doing the engineering and the producing. How did the I guess we can go to now the getting on Trapper Mandela's new album.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about as far as getting linked up with him?
So I've been cool with Bandplay, like during my whole career. Bandplay was the first producer to send me beats. This was back when he was like, his name was KG on the track.
Yeah.
And he used to send me beats while I was in computer class, and I used to finish that shit so quick, and he would send me all these beats, bro. And we just built a relationship then, and you know, him and Star and Big Trap got that relationship, so I had pulled up on them one night. We was just smoking and vibing. Band was with Trap, and Trap was working on the Bonnie and Clyde record.
Yeah.
And I think Band had told him like I was making beats and shit, and bro knew me from like the rap shit, but he was like, damn, you make beats, like send me some shit. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with it.
Yeah.
And I think I had sent him some shit. And like a year later, well this year, I sent him the beats a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just putting the project together.
Yeah, then Logan reached out to me, which is his manager. And he reached out to me like a couple months ago and was telling me Trap picked out one of the beats. And I never heard the record until it came out. So,
dope, yeah.
Type shit. But when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah. It was crazy though. I didn't even think he was gonna pick that beat.
Yeah, because you sent him like a pack.
Yeah, I sent him a pack, but I sent him like all like turn shit, and then I sent that one soulful shit. And it's crazy. He said he ended up dropping the album on some soulful shit. So
yeah, the whole project's like that, which is dope. So that's cool, man. So now, like, what is it you're working on currently, other than the engineering and producing? Are you working on a new project? Like
yeah, I got a project dropping September 28th with ABKGates. It's called Tripping Out the Gates.
Oh, so it's a whole like EP album?
Yeah, it's a whole collab EP, yeah.
Oh,
and I engineer and produce all bro shit, so like, we like a collective, bro. When we get in the studio, it's like magic, you know what I'm saying? It's like Shaq and Kobe.
Fire right now too, dog.
Yeah, it's like Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
For him, it's like, he respect me on like another level too, so with him, it's like, bro, people be wanting me to turn back up with that shit, so with him, it's just like, bro, let's drop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He know I'm comfortable with him, so he's like, bro, let's just turn this shit up.
How'd y'all link, just from knowing each other around here, or?
Nah, he came to a studio I was working out of one day and was doing a feature for somebody. And I think he liked how I put the shit together. And then bro already knew me from like, everybody knew me from like the rap shit.
Yeah, from
back.
Previous,
yeah, so like when they seen I was doing the engineering and producer shit, I think I sent them a beat one day. And he did that. He came to the studio and did it. And then from then, that shit went crazy because man, like I said, I got an ear for that shit. So like, when I like damn near do the beats now, I could damn near like hear an artist. Like I know how I'm gonna come with that shit.
Yeah.
I could damn near hear the beat and know exactly how the artist gonna come.
Yeah.
So like he knew that. He trusts that sound. And since then, bro, we've been like this. Been like 2 years now.
So the collab that y'all are doing, you're rapping, producing, and engineering.
Yo,
so
I'm engineering the whole project. The beats wise, I did it cool. I put a lot of different producers in Nashville on it. So
dope. So I got you. And then
I use that, yo.
Yeah. When y'all trying to drive a date for that one?
Yeah, it's September 28th.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
So we got
will be
a
dropping
couple videos gonna
drop.
drop.
Out, so, well, this will be dropping right around the same time. We may try to time that for you to where we drop it around that same time frame alongside it. So that's
gonna be dope. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I'll let you hear some shit off the record, but that shit crazy.
Yeah, for sure, man. And we'll definitely need to get you on the podcast too, because our podcast studio is not far from here. So
straight up.
We'll have to book you as a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely gonna do that.
So you can come through there and get on there too. Hell yeah, man. That's dope, man. It's cool that when you link with somebody like me and you linking like we not knowing certain things, but then Nashville's so small, man, when you think about it, as far as music goes.
It's that, and bro, I feel like I feel like this new world, bro, is different. Like this new generation just different. So you don't really shit. So like overnight, you don't really know like, oh, people really be the footwork. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
man.
people don't have footwork no more.
No.
So to meet that shit be like different, and when you really do connect the dots, it be like, damn.
Yeah, that's true, man. The footwork don't. It's not. It doesn't. It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, cause like I'm young, but bro, I got like that old soul. Like I come from like passing out CDs and shit. You know what I'm saying?
You're young, bro, but you're not. You're just on the cusp of like both, to where like you still can connect with the footwork type stuff, and then you're young enough to where you're with the new generation too. You know what I mean? You're right there in that mid-20s age. So it's crazy how things are now, bro. To see how things have evolved in the 20 years I've been doing music, bro. I mean, everything was physical before everything was hand to hand.
Everything.
Until 10 years ago.
crazy, right?
You know, up until really 5 years ago, 6 years ago, because CDs were still a thing until like 2015, 2016,
Exactly.
and now everything's streaming. You know what I'm saying? So, but it definitely takes some getting used to. But man, I appreciate you doing this, man. This is gonna be dope. We'll make sure and release this around that same time frame that y'all drop that collab EP, and then hopefully I'll get linked up with Gates too, and we can do a sit down interview on him too.
Yeah, I definitely could put that together. Definitely could make that happen.
Yeah, man. Well, again, dude, I appreciate you, dude, and we'll put his links in the description. We'll put the link to their collab EP in the description too. Y'all be sure to follow him on Instagram and go check out the music. It's dope. And artists, I guess, wanting beats, they can hit you up on Instagram too, right?
Yo, Lil Trip 615. Yo, pretty much, yo.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you, dog.
Hey, I appreciate you, gang.